Let's bring in somebody who knows quite a bit about Florida politics.
And that would be Clarence McKee. He is president of McKee Communications, and he is a Newsmax contributor. Clarence,
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Clarence, first, I just want to go ahead and get your reaction on the latest news. We have Caesar Sayak Jr., 56 years old, from Aventura, Florida.
Wow.
Not far from where we are based, not far from where you are based. What is your take on all of this?
Well, I want to wait and see what happens with the investigation when it's all concluded shows. This was a horrible thing. It was very bad. You don't want to terrorize people. But I always wondered, I said, you know, maybe this was just to send a message. Out of 11 explosive devices, none actually exploded. It was like a warning to people. And I've been writing in Newsmax and saying for several months now, all of this hateful, vitriolic language coming from Democrats is going to get somebody hurt. And this is just the beginning, I think, and it's just too bad. But I'm glad it's over. Let's hope it'll stop. And keep track of the fact that look at the people who got these. Now, people are going to say this man maybe was deranged. Well, it just so happens everybody who got one of those devices is one of the people who was saying things against Republicans. You know, Cory Booker,
Right.
Get in the face. Maxine Waters, get in the face. All of them. And then Clapper. You know, he has to be a bit sophisticated.
Clarence, let me interrupt you for one brief second. We have a video here, a live video of the suspect's van being transported. You can see what appears to be a tactical officer, a SWAT officer, either locally or FBI, on the back of that vehicle. He looks to be holding down a tarp over the van.
All right.
And that vehicle, that truck, is being escorted by 3 black pickup trucks that appear to be law enforcement vehicles. Clarence, how do you think this apprehension, it happened in South Florida, will affect, if at all, the upcoming midterm elections, 2 big races in Florida, gubernatorial and U.S. Senate?
Not at all. This is, you know, whoever planned this, and you know something, John, I want to wait and see where this is really coming from. I don't know what this man's background is, but it seemed too coincidental that after the caravan, and then after Kavanaugh, now we have another major event coming up to distract people. I had one time thought maybe these were Soros people who had planned this to make it look like it came from the left. But what's going to happen, or the right, what's going to happen, and I hear there were stickers all over this guy's truck, you're going to have the same Democrats, Pelosi, and all of them, come out saying, this was a Trumper, this was a Trumper. No sooner that this thing was started yesterday than they didn't get on TV and talk about it. You know something? When Steve Scalise was shot, almost killed, we did not have all the Democrats saying a peep, basically, about how bad that was. Now, all the Democrats are jumping on board saying how horrible this is. A man gets almost killed, they were quiet.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens here.
I think you're very smart and very astute, actually, to say that we need to wait and exercise caution before judgment, certainly before attributing blame. We're showing now a picture of Caesar Sayak Jr., aged 56, Aventura, Florida. He is the current suspect. He's been taken into custody. Clarence, don't go away. We want to talk to you a little bit more coming up right after the break, so please do stay with us. We'll keep our continuing coverage up for you of the arrest of Caesar Sayak Jr. This arrest, of course, in connection with the package bomb probe. Your reaction first to the arrest that has been made of Caesar Sayak Jr., aged 56, from South Florida. And also your reaction, if you would please, to the president's demeanor, whatever you'd like to comment on regarding his comments just now.
President was excellent as usual. Problem is, the Schumer and the Democrats are still going to come out tonight in the newscast and criticize him. But I hope that this event, thank heavens no one got hurt, will be a kind of a warning or sending a message to all of those 9 people who have been 13, who have been so vocal and yelling and screaming against the president and so hateful against Republicans. You know, running into them at restaurants, harassing. Nobody spoke out against that on the Democratic side. Now all of a sudden, they're all upset about what happened. Let's hope this is the end of it.
Well, when it happened to Steve Scalise,
yeah.
they said that was Trump's fault. Then when it happened to his own family, they said that was Trump's fault. That was his rhetoric. And
Right.
then
Exactly.
now that it seems this letter bomber has done this and targeted leftists, that's Trump's fault. I just don't know that you can have it both ways. It's extraordinarily inconsistent, isn't it, Clarence?
Yeah, they're never going to stop. I'm telling you. They better knock it off, because I'm telling you. They were all 13 were lucky this time. But there still are a lot of crazy people out there. And I would tell them to pipe down. And we'll see what happens tonight. And that includes the folks and the pundits on these little cable networks who have the most vicious things in the world to say. They're lucky they weren't targeted. And many more will be. But let's hope it stops.
All right, Clarence, I want to read something that Governor Rick Scott tweeted just a little while ago.
Good.
He wrote, quote, "I have been briefed by FDLE on developments." FDLE is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, "on developments regarding the attempted bombings. Any attempt to harm others is disgusting and has no place in Florida or our country. I appreciate the hard work of law enforcement to bring swift justice to whoever is responsible for these cowardly acts." And Rick Scott, of course, is the current governor of Florida. He's termed out. He can't run again for governor, so he is running for U.S. Senate against incumbent Senator Bill Nelson. The governor has been very proactive whenever it comes to a law enforcement situation.
Very pro-cop.
Very proactive when it came to the hurricanes and supporting the first responders. What will this mean for Rick Scott? Do you think an incident like this, with Florida law enforcement integrally involved, rapidly apprehending the suspect, gives him a bump in his bid for the Senate against Bill Nelson, or is it a net neutral? Does it not make a difference?
I would hope that anything he can do to get in the front pages and get in the news will give him a bump. See, the problem here, John, is that if Andrew Gillum, the black Democrat candidate running for governor, if he hadn't gotten millions of dollars from George Soros, Tom Steyer, and Bloomberg, he wouldn't even be on the ticket. There'd be another Democrat there. And Scott would be ahead of Nelson. What the concerns of Republicans should be that the down ballot impact of Gillum, who's ahead now, will save Nelson's political butt. But I hope that the governor can pull it off. Meanwhile, let's see if Gillum, who's very anti-cop, is going to come out and say, well, they caught this guy, but the cops were just lucky. He comes out with the most anti-law statements in the world. So I would hope that the people in Florida will say no to this guy. I really get worried, as I said last week, because of that hurricane and what it did to North Florida. A very strong, over 200,000 Republican voters up there.
Right.
A lot of them aren't going to be able to vote. And that was a strong point in these very close elections for all the Republican candidates who ran for governor in the last 4 cycles.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens on that. But I hope Rick just can pull it out and tough it out.
Yeah. All right, Clarence McKee, our good friend, political strategist, GOP political strategist, and Newsmax contributor. Great to see you, Clarence. Have a great weekend.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see you, Clarence.
Okay.